Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button. Hulk, smash. Well, T, smash. Also trackies, please remember to hit the like button. That's how the video gets you the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope you all care, so share. And yes, please sound off in the comment section below. The National Senior Championships. Did you all forget? I know there's so much that has been happening, but come on, the National Senior Championships is literally at our doorsteps. It begins on the 26th, which is Thursday, through to the 29th, and I'm excited to bring y'all coverage of the event. So, track is you don't know how things go. We have to start reviewing what is coming at the National Senior Championships. And as I said, I'm excited because Shelly Fraser Price is hanging up her spikes for 2025, right? So I'll be there. I wasn't there for Bolt, but I'll be there for Shelly Fraser Price. And I'm definitely excited to be in the stadium and feel the fervor of her getting that final farewell from the Jamaican supporters or Jamaican fans. Trackies, I am super duper excited to be there. But before we get to the women's 100 meters, which is the event that she competes in, let's start with the 400 meters. And I want to dive into the men's 400 meter first. And what is to come now for this event? We have the defending world champion, so we actually get four entrants for this event. So I'm really looking forward to see Jamaica having four people in the 400 meters at this year's world championships. Now the defending champion Antonio Watson, though he doesn't need to be here, is actually in the lineup for the men's 400 meters. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what he'll be able to come with in this men's 400 meters. Now he has a personal best of 44.13 seconds that he did do at the World Championships in 2023 in the semi-final round. So on the back of that, track is we all know 2024 he suffered injury setbacks. Back in 2025, ready to defend his crown. However, as things stand right now, he has a season's best time of 46.03 seconds. Hasn't run, that many 400s this season, track is. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does at the national championships. Me personally, when you think about him only competing in one 400 meters all season, clearly it says I need more races, before I head off to the world championships. So I'm thinking that he's just going to be taking advantage of the fact that we have 3 rounds here at the national championships to get better prepared for what is to come. As I said, he has his ties to defend come September, and yeah, the men are running ridiculously fast in the 400 meters. We are seeing a whole different ball game since 2024, pretty much with the 400. So if he wants to defend, he has to shatter, in my opinion, that 44.13 seconds. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he'll be able to do at trials, and of course, the weeks that follow, get better prepared for, of course, the world championships. But track is he will have, strong competition, or I believe that there are a couple guys there that will, give him a run for his money. And I want to start with a Zandrian Barnes. Opened the season, track is with an absolute bang in 2025. 44.97 seconds, signaling to us that, hey, Zandrian Barnes is one to watch in 2025 for Jamaica. No, he didn't really improve on that particular performance since then, but I would say he's been pretty steady in his performances over, the season so far that is leading up into the trials. So when I take into consideration that he placed fifth in the finals in 2024 and he starts his 2025 season with such a bang, 44.97 seconds, I definitely believe that his personal best, 44.90 seconds done in 2023, is under threat, track is. So let's see what happens with John Barnes. Definitely think he's one to keep an eye on. No, the collegiates are also there, and there are many collegiates, trackies. And I just want to say as well, before I continue, I actually think this race is wide open. It's one of the events that I'm looking at and I'm like, based on season's best, outside of personal best that athletes should be able to potentially get to again, if we're going off season's best, there's not much difference between any of the athletes, and we have a number of athletes that are running really well in the 400 meters so far. A lot of collegiates as well. Stephen Francis was right when he said we need those collegiates because they've really come into this men's 400 meters and blown it absolutely wide open. And one of those athletes is Bovell McPherson, trackies. He's actually the fastest athlete in Jamaica so far this season with his 44.78 seconds. Now, that's incidentally a personal best for him done this season. So It's going to be interesting to see what these collegiates come with. No, he's a collegiate athlete, as I said, and he actually plays second in the NJCAA championships. So he has been competing strongly. So let's see what happens when he gets to the national championships. Now, someone that I have my eye on, track is actually Delano Kennedy. I'm very, very interested and intrigued and impressed with his training group. Shaniki Osborne has been doing a big one, with that, training group. We see what's happening with a Brian Lavelle. But Delano Kennedy came out in a big way in that 400 meters at the Racers Grand Prix, 45.22 seconds. I think he could be the surprise athlete in these 400 meters. Absolutely tracky. So keep your eyes on Delano Kennedy. So far, as I said, he's run 45.22 seconds. If he wants to feature majorly in this 400 meters, definitely has to go sub 45. Does he have it in him? Let us see. Definitely think he is the major, dark horse in this particular race. Now, we have the defending champion from 2024, the defending national champion, that is DeAndre Watkins. That's also in the lineup track is. No, he has a personal best 44.48 seconds. So far this season's track is he has done a 45.34 seconds. Now, as I continue down this list, you're going to realize, as I said, there's not much difference between the athletes. They're literally separated by mere tenths of a second, right? So it's going to be interesting, as I said, to see how this race pans out. And it is literally blown wide open. Now, the national record holder is also here. Rasheen McDonald, he has the national record with a 43.93 seconds. So far this season, he has done a 45.48 seconds. One thing we know about Rasheen McDonald is that regardless of however his season is going, he always turns up at the national championships. And I actually think he's been having a pretty good season so far in the 400 meters. So he is one that you should not take your eyes off, for this men's 400 meters. Now, last year in the finals, he placed seventh. So again, he's always turns up, always makes it to finals, regardless of how bad he looks, throughout the season. And as I said, this season he has been looking pretty good, So let's see what happens for him for this particular race. Now, Jackies, I also want to point out that there are a couple of hurdlers, that will be competing here. I haven't added them, to my preview because I think they're only running the 400 meters so that they can be a part of the 4x400 meters, as well as at 800 meters also there as well. So I didn't add them to my 400 meter prospects. But track is these athletes as well can blow the race wide open because some of them are just as good in the 400 meters as they are in the 400-meter hurdles. So keep an eye on the likes of Tyrese Roden. As I said, he does the 8 as well as the 4. We have Malik James King, Esini Wilson as well. They do the 400 meters, 400-meter hurdles. And Kimar Farkas is also competing here as well. He's a 4'8" man. So again, I didn't really add them to my preview, but these athletes can blow the field wide open. Now, a man that we can't take our eyes off as well is Sean Bailey. He was the athlete that took the championships, the Jamaica Senior Championships, back in 2023 and was second in 2024. Has a personal best of 44.43 seconds. So far this season, 45.57 seconds track is. So, again, the time so far this season, not much separating them, but going off PBs, we can tell who or which athletes really stand a cut above the rest. And clearly so far, those athletes are the likes of a Sean Bailey, clearly Zanjian Barnes, Bovel McPherson, DeAndre Watkin as well, the defending championships winner. So those are the ones to really look out for as well. Now, Demish Gay track is also here. So far this season hasn't really looked that impressive. His season's best is a 46.03 seconds. And back in 2024 in the finals for the 400 meters, he actually didn't finish. So it will be interesting to see what a Demish Gay is going to be capable of in this men's 400 meters. But it seems as though there's a transition happening over at, that club as well. And I think the man right now is actually Zandrian Barnes. So let's see what happens. More collegiates to look out for trackies. We're talking about Joshua Dennis, Javier Brown, Raheem Hales, Javon Powell recently went pro. He's another 44 man, 44.54. If he's able to get back to his best, can definitely, figure last year he was third, in the men's 400 meters at the National Senior Championships. So let's see what happens. This season so far, 45.88 seconds. So track is lots of athletes to look out for. As I said, Shamar Palmer will be there. Malik Ricketts will be there. Shamar Uta will be there. Shamar Chambers will be there, trackies. So a number of up and coming athletes will be in this men's 400 meters. And based on season's best, I can't really separate them, but there are a few that I really have my eye on, and I'm looking forward to see, what will, the 400 meters for the men amount to. Of course, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Anthony Watson, has for us at the National Senior Championships, given, he's a defending world champion, right? But yeah, that's my thoughts for the men's 400 meters. Sound off in the comment section below. Not much separating them. Who do you think are the athletes to watch? Who do you think will end up 1, 2, 3? Who do you think may surprise the field? I want to know it all in the comment section below. Now, Chakis, let's jump into the women's 400 meters. Now, for me, this one is going to be absolutely show-stopping. Now, the field isn't as deep as the men's 400 meters, but I believe I did see, a post online where it said that this is the first time since 2017 that they'll be able to field 3 rounds for the women's 400 meters. So usually it's only semifinals and finals. This year we're going from heat to semi to final. So that's a good look for the women in the 400 meters. Again, here though, we are depending heavily on the collegiate athletes coming in to bolster our team. But track is, we also have a very, very impressive national record holder in the 400 meters, Nickisha Price, and she is the 8th all-time 400 meter sprinter in that event with her 48.57 seconds. So she is definitely the one to beat, in my opinion, in this race. Now, just like with the men, there are a few, athletes that do, feature for the 400 meters that this isn't their pet event. And in my opinion, they're only doing it so that they can be a part of the 4x4. Those athletes are Anjanette Knight, Cheyenne Salmon. I was told earlier today, it's not Salmon, it's Salmon. So Cheyenne Salmon, right? Genevieve Russell, and also Natalia Gould Topping. So those are the athletes that, compete in the 400 hurdles slash 800 meters that will be participating in the 400 for, as I said, opportunities to compete in the 4x400 meters. I believe that one athlete in this can possibly blow this field open, and it's probably Anjanette Knight. Let's see what happens in the 400 meters. That being said, trackies, let's dive into who lines up here and how I think, this race may potentially pan out. No, we have the Jamaican leader so far and the athlete that placed second at the NCAA Division 1 Outdoor Track and Field Championships, Dejanea Oakley, a big breakout star for 2025. If we talk about her 2024, she was literally a 51.75 second sprinter. 2025, she is a 49.65 seconds sprinter. That makes her the fastest athlete for a Jamaican so far in 2025. Absolutely fantastic year she's been having. She literally went from 50.35 at the beginning of the season to 50.18 to 49.65 to place second, as I said, at the NCAA Division 1 Outdoor Track and Field Championships. I think that Dejanea Oakley is definitely going for the win here, going to see if she can become the national champion in the women's 400 meters. However, she has to contend with, as I said, the national record holder, Nickisha Price. It is a 48.57 seconds athlete. This is no slouch. As I said, 8th all time when it comes to competing. Now, so far this season, tracking, she's done a 50.04 seconds. She's the defending champion as well in the 400 meters from 2024, the National Senior Championships. So, definitely, a lot of bragging rights is on the line when it comes to these two athletes. What I would say about Nickisha Price for this season, she started, I would say, very slow. Given the fact that the World Championships is in September, right? It's very much understandable. But what I've appreciated over time is that I have witnessed her slowly but surely incrementally improve her performances over the 4 plus the 2 because she was competing as well at the Grand Slam Track League. And definitely as the competitions progressed, you saw, more fire from her, especially her attacking the first 200 meters. And that's what you really want to see. The 400 meters is a sprint. And when I see Nickisha Price getting it back into that bag where she's attacking the race from the first 200 meters, I know that she is turning up at the national championships to defend her title. And it's going to be an amazing race, in my opinion, between herself and Dejanea Oakley to see who, will stand atop. Now, the other athlete that I want us to look out for as well is Stacey Williams. She, so far this season, has done a 50.37 seconds. Her personal best is 50 seconds on the nose. And track is, for me, this is the year for Stacey to actually dip below 50 seconds. I definitely feel it in my bones that this is the year for her. Now, so far for 2025, Chuckies, you all know she switched clubs. She no longer trains in Jamaica, right? So she used to train at the Elite Performance Track Club. She now trains at Herd Mechanics along with Nickisha Price. And so far, Chuckies, I have to say, though she hasn't run a personal best yet, she has been looking much better than any other year so far since she's been a professional athlete, right? So all roads lead to, in my opinion, Stacey Williams dipping below 50 seconds for this first time. And I'm excited to see what will happen with her in this women's 400 meters. So we have other, athletes to look out for, other collegiates. Majority of them are collegiates, right? So Queen of Foot will be there. So far, she's done a 50.97 seconds. We also have Joanne Reed that will be there. She has done so far a 51.28 seconds. Shanky Williams, sister of Stacey Williams, she will be there. She's another one that has had a massive season. Literally just coming out of high school, track is running 53.03 as her fastest performance. A year later in college, she's a 51.49 second sprinter. So she's one to keep an eye on as well. Onika Makanov as well will be there, 51.96 seconds. So these are the collegiate athletes that are nipping at everybody's heels. And I definitely think they're coming and they are going to steal the show. Absolutely. Now for the more senior athletes, we have a Leah Anderson that will be there. She has run a 51.15 seconds so far this season, a personal best for her. And I have to say, I've been watching her all season trackies, and from indoors, she has been looking good. Though her indoors didn't go how she wanted it to go, because it seems as though she did end with a slight injury, though she said she was fine after the fact. But I have been watching her, whole season. I definitely think she's in for her best season yet, and actually so far she's already done a PB, as I said, so far this season. So keep your eye on Leah Anderson as well. For the other athletes, trackies, Candice McLeod, Ranisha McGregor, Rhonda White, they haven't been having the strongest seasons with performances of 52.44, 52.12, 54.90 respectively so far done this season. So lots of improvements if these athletes want to be part of top 3 or even make it into the finals, because as I said, these collegiates are here and they're ready to run. So it will be interesting to see who makes it to the finals, trackies, and who will be able to lift that national championship title. For me, I actually have this one down to my top 3. I actually have Nickisha Price walking away with the win. I have been watching her season, trackies, and I think she's timing it absolutely perfectly. And as I said, I've been watching the fact that she's incrementally been getting better at attacking that first 200. And I believe that unless Dejanea Oakley, and I do think she has a really, really solid final, 50, especially given what I saw at the NCAA Division 1 Outdoor Track and Field Championships, where she was running down on her teammate. But if Nickisha Price can put enough distance between herself and Dejanea Oakley coming off that first 200, then I definitely think, Nickisha Price will be able to go away with the win. But let us see. I have Nickisha Price, winning. Dejanea Oakley, I have second, and I have Stacey Williams, going in for third at this particular event. I do not think we will see any crazy surprises with these 3 athletes not being top 3, but I am keeping my eye on, as I said, the athlete that is just here to compete because she wants to be a part of the 4x400 meters, Anjanette Knight. I'm definitely keeping my eye on her. I definitely think this is going to be an absolute big season for her when it comes to the hurdles, and I'm hoping that that transfers to the 4, which will help our 4x400 meters. One thing though, Anjanette, if the button drop, please turn around and pick it up. I'm just saying. Anyways, Rockies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So the first one down, the 400-meter preview. Let me know what you think. Like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.